So, I downloaded the Muse prototypes from the Muse website. And by the way, you want to kind of go through that exchange and look around. There's also a lot of sliders, a lot of different things. There's some great things in there. So it's really worth your time to go through and see what widgets that you can use that are going to be to your advantage and helpful for you. So I downloaded that library, and there it is. It's right here. You can see that I put it in this file so you can see it. It's this number. And to use it, all we have to do is double click, and that's going to install it into our library. Now, we're not going to see it. It's not going to be anywhere until we actually get into the editing concept. So what we're really doing right here is we're just planning. So you can notice a couple of things that I can shut off the thumbnail so the thumbnail hides away. If you're looking for some more efficiency, you can turn those off. You don't need to have that running. And I can get rid of the badge to tell me what master I have if I'm trying. I also can zoom in and make things bigger, or zoom out to make things smaller so I can get a sight view of what's going on. But what I'd like to do right now is I want to go over to my master page. I'm going to double click on the master, and it's going to launch up in this new window. And you can see there is my window, and I'm going to bring this over just so you can see it. These are my extra panels, and if I come in to my library down here in this panel, let me kind of bring that up so you can see it. If I scroll down, you can see I've got a lot of other libraries, but here's my Andrews prototype. You can see I've installed it several times trying to do this for demonstration purposes. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually first going to come in here. And in my master, there's a couple of things that are interesting. The first thing, if I look up here, is the distance from the top of the browser Chrome that the top of my page will be. So I'm actually going to bring that right to the top of the page. This next one here is actually showing me the height of my header in my document. So I'm actually going to bring that down, and I'm going to bring that down to 100 pixels. So there we go. And then I come over here and I've got a similar kind of thing. This is the bottom of the page, so this is where the bottom of the browser is. If I want to show a little bit of background, I can. If I want to hide it completely, I can actually snap it up to there. And then after I have done that, I can come over here and bring my footer back up. So I'm going to make my footer 100 pixels as well, and I've defined the area. Now, the thing that's really important whenever you're working in any of the Adobe products, or any product for that matter, is layers. So layers are really important. So I've already got one layer by default. So what I want to do is I want to actually name my layers. I double clicked on that, and I'm going to give my layer a name. I'm going to call this header. And then what I'm actually going to do is I could just click on new layer, and you can see it's going to create a new layer for me. I'm going to undo that, Command Z, because what I really want to do is I want to hit Option as I do that, and it's going to pop up my layer options right away, so I do not have to click and then double click and whatnot. So what I want to do is I want to come over here and give this a name. So this is going to be my content layer. And I want to lock that layer because I don't want to put anything on it. I'm going to click OK. And then I'm going to do it again. Come over here. I'm going to Option click to on that little icon to create another new layer. And I'm going to call this new layer the footer because that's where I'm going to put all my footer information. I'm going to lock that layer as well. And there you go. And in all honesty, you might want to have more layers. You never know. So one of this layer, maybe this one here, I would call sidebar if I had a sidebar. And you want to break things up into layers that make sense for you and how you work. So I'm going to just kind of click on this and bring this down. And then the truth is I'm going to want my header at the very top. So I'm going to move my header. I'm going to unlock that. Sometimes it doesn't really kind of want to play nice. You got to kind of move it around. So I'm going to bring that up. And so you can get it in there, and then I'm just going to move it around. So my header's on the top layer. My sidebar is there. I want to move the footer to the bottom. There we go. And I'm going to lock every layer but my header. So now, once I've got my header layer set, what I'm going to do is I'm now going to go back to my library here, scroll down to my Andrews prototypes, and I'm going to click on the circle, drag it out, and pop it up over there. Up. You can see what's happening. It's telling me that I'm attempting to do it, and bang, I've got the I've got the crash, Muse crashed on me. Gotta love it. So I'm going to relaunch Muse. And it takes a couple of seconds for it to relaunch. And as I said in class, and I'll say now, Muse can be a little finicky, but the great thing about it is it does do autosave. And so as it autosaves, it saves where you last were. So I'm going to double click to open up my master, and you'll notice that it did in fact save everything for me. When I bring the images over, all my layers are still set. What happened was I hadn't selected my layer, so I'm going to now. And then I'm going to go down to my friend over here, my Andrew's prototype, and I'm going to click on the circle, drag him, and put him up into that layer. So now my circle's showing up, and I can now come in and grab that and make it bigger. And the whole idea behind this is this would be my logo. Maybe another thing I might want to do is come in and find maybe the lorem headline and drag that out, put that up here, and essentially this is the name of my company. So I would put, you know, company name. Alright, so now I've got that all set up and I'm squared away there. I can resize, bring things around, and then I can line them up. And what's really nice is the smart guides. Look at how it sets up the grid, giving me 12 pixels difference. It's telling me what's going on. Alright, that's great. So I've got that squared away. Now, if I were to come in and save my file, and it's going to save it for me, and I'm going to replace the one I had, and then I come back over here, you'll notice that all my files accepted that. Very cool. Alright, I'm going to go back to my master again, and then remember that I wanted to add in a menu. Well, the menus are not in the library, they're in the widgets library. So if I click on the widgets library and open that up, you'll see that one of my options is menu. And when I click on the menu, I can pick whether I want horizontal or vertical. I'm going to pick horizontal, and I'm going to drag it up and drop it in place. There we go. My menus, I dragged it up and I dropped it in place. I'm going to put it where I want it. Now, when I go back out to my master, you'll notice that all my sub pages have got it, and so now I can effectively navigate all these pages. But here's the interesting thing. I can't get to these pages. And the reason I can't get to those pages is because I haven't turned on one particular feature. So back to my master to double click. And then once I've double clicked on that, when I click over here on this guy, actually the menu, and I move it over, you see this guy right here? This guy is where it's going to show you the heads-up display for anything that you're using. I'm going to move it over a little bit more just so you can see it in the video. And when I do, what I can do is look at my options. What's happening is it's only showing me my top level pages. So if I want to get all the sub-level pages, all I have to do is go down to all pages. And then now I've got all my sub-level pages, and my sub-level pages are now available to me. I can now put this back to where I had it, go back to my wireframe, and now you'll notice all my pages are there. If I double click on the home page now to see what's going on, I now have this little drop down element there. So if I were to preview this in browser, when I click on the drop down, I get the ability to navigate to any of those pages. Pretty cool. Alright, I'm going to pause it here again. When we come back, we're going to go back into our plan mode. We're going to add some footer information in there, and we're also going to add some basic elements to the page so you can get the idea of how you want to build your wireframe out.